Why am I no longer vegan? Hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah with Love Holistic Living, and I'm an intuitive health and life coach and author, healer, and chef. If you're new to this, please subscribe and don't forget to like this video if you enjoy the content, and to leave a comment to let me know that you have watched it. This is a part of my story that actually I have not shared yet, and I was actually taking a bath the other day, and I thought, why have I not shared where it all began, my kind of like new lifestyle journey and becoming very conscious about eating, but it also the story of how it went downhill and my health suffered. So you're going to get a lot of information out of this video if you're currently plant-based or if you're thinking about it. And as always, you need to know that I provide an objective view to like life choices, and I am not saying you shouldn't or you should. I am just sharing my personal story from my point of view, from what happened to me, so that you can make the best decision for yourself. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your own life choices. So let's start from the beginning. I was actually 19 when I was traveling the world. I was in Australia at that time, and I was in a very spiritual place where we were practicing meditation, and I began becoming plant-based for like 5 months. Then I reintroduced fish, so I was a pescatarian, and then I reintroduced eggs. So that was kind of the beginning of like tiptoeing around and feeling it out. And everybody that was spiritual that I met along my journey at that time was sharing with me that you need to be plant-based in order to be highly spiritual. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna try this, and it wasn't working. So again, I reintroduced here and there meat protein. But what happened was, fast forward when I came to the States at 22 years old, and that's when I made the decision that ethically and consciously I really wanted to be plant-based. Not because of the health benefits of following a plant-based diet at the time, at least what I thought, but because I wanted to stop supporting the meat industry. And I, fast forward, stayed vegan for 4.5 years, and I had 2 pregnancies while plant-based. Now, at the beginning, what my body did, and what it happens to me all the time that I'm plant-based, I gain weight. And so I gained about 10 pounds because that's what my body does. And I'm going to talk about why maybe later on in the video. I work with the different mind-body constitution. So my body works better and loses weight on a high protein diet versus high carbs diet. And yes, being plant-based, you can get a lot of protein with rice and beans and tofu, and I try to stay away from all of the processed meats that these days they are produced in the stores, because there are processed foods, plant-based processed foods. So I wouldn't go that route if I were you thinking about going plant-based. So I remain like a clean eater on a plant-based diet. What happened was that at the beginning, I didn't really know how to feed myself, so I gained weight. Then I started reading, researching, and I really began making sure that I was hitting the right amount of nutrients every single day. And then I got pregnant after a year, and by age 23, I had my first baby. And that's when my health started to take a toll during that pregnancy. So during that pregnancy, I started craving meat like crazy. My hemoglobin dropped to 8 or 7.9. And 7, guys, is a transfusion kind of warning sign. I was very scared. So I reintroduced meat for a bit while pregnant. It came back up. I was still at a very high risk pregnancy due to my low hemoglobin. Not to mention that I discovered from my family at that time that I have genetic anemia called thalassemia. Therefore, I cannot, my liver, my organs cannot process the synthetic iron. I can only get iron from animal protein. Like at that time, I was like, okay, I have this genetic anemia. I want to be plant-based, and my hemoglobin is dropping. So obviously, I reintroduced meat for a bit because my child was involved and I was pregnant. So I did what was best. And then once I delivered, which was pretty like long and traumatic birth, but all natural, I was happy about that. Then I became vegan again. And what I've noticed is that despite the fact that for the first 2 months I had high production of milk, then after the 2 months period being vegan, my milk dried out very, very fast. And I didn't really connect the dots at that time, but now I can connect the dots, and I did connect the dots that plant-based wasn't really suitable for my body. Now I continued, and after 9 months, I got pregnant with my daughter. And again, same thing happened. So I was craving dairy and meat, and I did eat towards the 3rd trimester some animal protein. I was more on a vegetarian diet at that point during the pregnancy, and then I became vegan again after she was born. Again, natural birth, luckily. And same thing happened. Great production of milk at first, and then after the 2nd month, dried out, and my body wasn't producing enough. Now, I want you guys to all know that I was very conscious about getting protein, getting my carbs, getting my veggies, so super, 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 super healthy. I tried everything, but what I realized is that I was suffering. Like, I was hungry all the time. I wasn't feeling good. I didn't have the energy. So during the time of me being plant-based, I didn't work out. Like, seriously, I had not a lot of energy, and I felt like always a brain fog. And remember that I grew up in Italy on a Mediterranean diet, and I have been athletic all my life. Now, going plant-based, I kind of felt a contrast in my life, and I thought something is not quite right. And because I have this thalassemia, maybe I need to go back to my roots and see if something is happening. But I was very stubborn. So I continued to be plant-based until my body really shut down, and my period stopped. This is fast forward when my baby was 1 and my second baby was 1.5. So my period stopped. And due to the fact that I was breastfeeding and I was plant-based, I lost a lot of weight in my body. For 3 months, I didn't have my period, and I was like, this is not great. And my body's trying to tell me something. So I took the courage to drink a bone broth. And in a matter of a week, my periods came back. Then I reintroduced salmon once a week, and I felt less hungry. So I was like less hungry. I was satisfied because I was hitting the nutrients that my body needed. Then I introduced eggs, and then I made a decision. I started noticing that my body really craved it, needed it. I was hungry for it, and I was feeling better. But then I decided to go and take a more detailed approach. So I went to a functional doctor, and I decided to research and study my health condition. And after he ran all of this blood test, it came out. He looked at me and he's like, you're borderline with an autoimmune disorder. this is what you're intolerant to, which is showed that everything that I was trying to do as a plant-based eater, hitting my protein with pea protein, with the best organic plant-based formulas to supplement with, again, protein, almonds and soy and cashews. My body was breaking down. I wasn't absorbing it. I was with a leaky gut syndrome. I was borderline with an autoimmune disorder. And the doctor said, either you change and you need to make that decision for yourself, but your body requires animal protein at this point. You can continue down this route. It's going to be very hard for you. And so with a heavy heart, I decided to try it. And that maybe going back to my roots, my Italian roots, Mediterranean diet was the best solution for me, and also to be present and active as a parent, as a mom for my kids, because at that point it escalated to me having pain, severe pain at 26 years old, through my spinal cord, in the bones. Like I could feel my body aching like a 90-year-old woman. And I was like, I'm not 90-year-old, I'm 26. This is not happening to me. And it was hard for me to get out of bed. I felt lethargic. I felt like I needed to be on bed rest. So I changed. After, I would say I started very slow, but after a year, I came back from the dead. I was so pale before, with bag under my eyes, thin hair loss, to vibrant. People were like, oh my God, it feels like you're coming back to life. What are you doing? And I also realized that that's how I best maintain my weight, when I have animal protein in my diet. So this has been my story with being a plant-based eater, and then deciding that for my body type, the best solution was to not be a plant-based eater. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have days right now where I'm plant-based, but it doesn't hurt me as much in the long run because I have animal proteins regular in my diet, and I make sure that I choose the best organic, wild-caught, or humanly raised animal protein these days, because I'm very aware of the energy and also the antibiotics that meat industries use, so I stay away from that. But my body thrives on this kind of diet. Make an informed decision, and if you try it and it doesn't work out, you can always go back and find out what works for you. Again, what works for you is key in maintaining your weight, maintaining your vitality, feeling great, and radiating from the inside out. So if you enjoyed this, please leave a comment, hit the subscribe button and the like, and I'll see you in the next video.